Okay, Bashar. I have three. Thank you. Three people I'm working with that I would like some help with.
People that you are working with?
Yes.
In what capacity?
There's a child with an autistic condition.
Yes.
I have facilitated a repair in the magnetic field.
In what way? By what methodology?
I would say it would be through the help of William Gray.
And
I get the indication that the repair is in progress.
To some degree, you have accelerated certain ideas, but there may need to be further adjustments, further experiences that will allow for a full knitting to occur.
All right. Now, I get that 70% of the problem with a child has to do with the magnetic field.
Well, that may be an effect that may be reinforcing the initial causations. It is not the initial cause, per se.
No.
But it is an effect that does need balancing so that it does not continue to reinforce and amplify the condition, yes.
And that there is a metabolic condition that can be addressed with...
Yes. But what about the emotional ones?
Ah, yes.
What are you doing for that? Or what is being done for that by someone?
This is an area that I'm perplexed about relative to the child directly.
Why? Are you allowed to hold the child?
The child voluntarily touched me. I think I might be able to.
This will be a sign of reparation, and the more that the physical contact can occur, then there will be an acceleration of reparation as well.
Very good. Very good. My most exasperating case is seated beside me on my...
Exasperating?
Yes.
Do you mean exciting?
That too.
It is one or the other at any given moment, not both.
Yes, that's altogether true.
Why, thank you.
There is a persistent cough.
Yes.
It is perhaps that I'm not the one to be addressing the issue. We have attempted many things.
Such as?
Dietary changes. My gosh, so many.
What about locational shift?
Really?
Where does this person really want to be?
Aha.
Explore the idea that they may feel they are being subjected to an environment that is not conducive to their being. Explore that and see what happens, what
Yes.
comes up.
Yes.
All right?
And the third one.
Yes.
Lady called me from Los Angeles, who's been dabbling, for quite a number of years, has been experimenting. Undertaking work with Kundalini yoga.
Yes.
Without guidance.
Without any guidance whatsoever that you know of.
She's largely, this is what she says.
Yes. And so?
And sure, she's being overwhelmed by energies.
Overwhelmed?
Yes.
She must find that exciting then.
She finds it very uncomfortable.
I see. In your assessment, without judgment, would you consider this individual to be, to some degree in your terms, say, somewhat melodramatic?
That's a possibility I haven't considered. There seems to be a very considerable cost to her for this, for what's occurring.
Cost?
Physically.
In what terms?
Being incapacitated for considerable periods of time.
And the question again,
Yes.
asked in a different way,
Yes.
What does this individual get out of being overwhelmed and incapacitated?
This I need to investigate.
Yes. Find out what the individual may believe is the benefit to appearing to function as an incapacitated and overwhelmed individual. Find out what would be considered an advantage to be in that state. Then you will have a key that you can turn.
Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
It helps a lot.
Thank you.
Bashar?
You.
First I wanted to thank you for the last time that we spoke like this.
All right, thank you. As well.
For being such a perfect mirror
Thank
to
you.
me. I realized I was being really hard on myself.
Oh, all right.
And thanks for playing that role out with me.
My pleasure.
I can't explain it, but the love I felt led me to understand the mirror, but
Guys.
I know that I don't know. I just want to thank you.
Thank you
'Cause I know
for
it's
choosing
not-
to be more of yourself. We also appreciate it greatly. Anytime each and every one of you makes a choice to be more of yourself, to us, the energy, just as an analogy, is the finest wine. You follow?
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yes, I follow.
To your health.
I was following and I had to be called because I have a few questions actually.
Yes. Proceed. Uncork and proceed. Pour yourself
You mean
out.
drain? Ooze?
Yes, if you wish.
About 2 months ago,
And the Oz.
the only way I'm just going to use words, but I don't know if I'm going to explain this properly, but
Well, you've used a sufficient amount of them explaining that you're trying to explain, so
Well-
why not just continue?
I will.
Thank you.
The only thing I can describe the experience is that I fell into my heart
All right.
as far as
That's poetic.
when
and
yeah,
apt.
I know. It sounds trite, but
Why? It is poetic and apt.
okay. I hear you.
Thank you.
And I would say shortly after that, I started falling. It would like go from my mind to my heart and then into my navel.
Yes. Connecting
And
the chakras.
yeah, but what happened about 2.5 weeks ago,
Yes.
my mom had a heart attack,
Yes.
or a heart awakening, as I told her it was.
All right.
And at the time I got the call, I was in a very deep meditation.
Yes.
So, and I've been around heart patients, so it didn't scare me. But my will just came so forward.
All right.
And for about 2 weeks, monitoring it from here and then going to be with her,
Yes.
it affected like everyone I came in contact with.
Yes.
And I have a question about will. I mean, it was interesting because intuitively I just pulled out Castanada's books again.
Oh, all right.
What I was experiencing during that time was it was so multidimensional and there were so many people being affected,
Yes.
and somehow I was monitoring it,
Yes.
that I needed more information on how to run my physical energy. And you know how Castaneda talks about the assemblage point
Yes.
and that type of thing.
Yes.
And he does say somewhere in there that why he likes a little smoke is because this type of energy actually fries your body. It's hard on the body. Which
That depends.
Which I don't believe. But I was
It
experiencing...
is, shall we say, to some degree capable of creating the experience of burnout if the intention is not clear.
Mm-hmm.
But if the intention is, no burnout occurs. Nothing is hard on the body in that way.
Right. I found myself tired in a certain way, but still having a lot of energy to keep it going.
Yes.
And so what I was wondering was if there was, since you're a physiological being, if there's
Yes.
any type of technique of working the energy in your body other than breathing or getting body work or doing yoga or
Yes.
that you can share.
Yes.
Thank you.
You will find that one very valuable and very quick technique for aligning the intention, grounding the self, and bringing all the chakras into shining agreement will be what you will witness in the beginning stances, the physical stances, or the positions adopted by what on your planet are classically referred to as sumo wrestlers.
Okay.
If you will observe the ritual of how they first will plant one foot, and then the other foot, with hands on thighs, with the accompanying sound from the gut, from the belly, from the throat, all in alignment, you will find that this will be a very aligning, purifying, cleansing, and clarifying technique. Then with the idea of allowing yourself to meet head-on whatever is coming at you energetically, but at that point then being not confrontive, but completely synchronized and meshed with the frequency of the energy. You and the energy will become one, there will be no difference, and you will find yourself standing stronger than before.
Yeah, I actually had that experience.
Oh, well, thank
Somehow
you.
I knew to see no conflict, and there were a
Yes.
lot of conflicting things.
Yes. In old labels,
especially
yes.
with people being really afraid about
Yes.
it and not understanding why I didn't jump on a plane immediately.
Yes. Well, this is in ancient language on your planet called the warrior's stance, the warrior's secret.
Mm-hmm.
And you instinctively know it because you have been a warrior several times.
Yeah, I guess I don't really relate to it as in a warrior sense, but
We are simply using
yes.
the old term.
Is Castaneda put out some videos where they show the exercises? I think it's called Ten's Integrity or something like that. Tensegrity.
Yes.
Is that...
There is a similarity to tensegrity. It is not identical, but there is a similarity, and tensegrity is to some degree based and an offshoot of the very simplistic example we have already just given you.
Okay. Would it be better just to stick with sumo wrestling?
That's
or
up to you.
Could I combine?
You can do that,
Okay.
or you can create any combination of these ideas that work
Right.
best for you in your present assessment of who and what you are.
Okay, I had one more question.
Yes.
In one of the little stories in, I think it was called, it was a separate reality, Don Gennaro is displaying to Carlos moving around a waterfall.
Yes.
And he throws some beams out from his assemblage point at his navel
Yes.
onto like a little rock.
Yes.
And he wraps the beams around the rock so he can then stand on this rock. Is that, I don't know. I always have a little problem with doing stuff like that because I feel like it's manipulating energy.
You are manipulating energy
anyway,
in a sense,
right?
but you don't have to use the word manipulating if that
Right.
has a negative connotation to you.
Well, I was wondering if how to create from the navel point, which do you start thinking of throwing out beams to things you want?
You can do it that way. There are a number of ways, and again, one of the things we have just told you is one of the ways that you do that. But in that sense, you are more likely throwing your entire attention out rather than singling it down to a single beam from the navel point. In a sense, you become the navel point. You become also the solar plexus. You become every chakra simultaneously in what we have already described as the seed form of what you have referred to.
Great.
But again, that is all a euphemism. For again, what you're really doing is making what appears to be out there your own in here. So in that sense, it's not really a manipulation. It is a true, shall we say, recognition and quote-unquote ownership.
Okay, I guess like a lot of these things do happen naturally under,
Yes.
like you said earlier, that
Yes.
intense desire. But since it's presenting itself a lot,
Right.
and my balance sometimes is getting thrown off, I was just wondering if that was something that was a valid way, but this warrior stance sounds
More fun.
like it's more up my alley.
All right. Then by all means, go up your alley.
And then I wanted, with the questions about remote viewing,
Yes.
so you're saying it's resonance. I know that
Yes.
there have been times where I could feel people coming to see me,
Yes.
and,
It still requires
when-
resonance identification
when
to
it-
have that experience.
So if I don't want them there, I just shift my resonance, and a lot of times they can't follow me.
Well,
Is
in
that-
a sense,
is that
you
an
simply may
accurate-
not perceive them in your reality domain, although they
Right.
may perceive a version of you in theirs.
Right. Although, unless they're really good, because there was one really good person who could jump around with
They
me
may
for a while.
simply be capable of allowing themselves to have a
But-
broader spectrum
Right.
of accessibility in terms of resonance identification.
So is
Yes.
that one way, though, to, let's say you felt it was an intrusion, could you just shift is that an accurate way of getting them off your back, so to speak, is by shifting your resonance?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, also examine the idea of, first of all, of course, whether or not it actually truly is an intrusion, or whether you have, in that sense, simply been given an opportunity to understand that your particular frequency may not be on a level that you prefer it to be on. And you may be being given the gift of being shown that, so that then in switching it, you have the opportunity to thank them for showing you what level it was vibrating on.
Yeah, I've had that experience under, I guess, psychic attack, if you want to call it that.
Well, so
where
to speak.
I just like, I'm not going to fight this person. What a waste of energy. I would just shift my energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
You, and then you, and then you. Number 2, do you know who you are? Yep. Number 3, do you? Number 1, good day.
Hi, Bashar. Bashar,
Yes.
I'd like to go back to what we talked about in our last session about Moses.
Moses.
Yeah. I'm still a little confused. I'm sorry I'm a little slow. Maybe you could explain to me better the relationship between Moses and Moses and the aliens.
You know, like Ramses?
Exactly.
Moses.
Okay.
It is an ancient Egyptian name, not Moses. Moses.
Okay. And what the relationship between Moses,
Yes.
the aliens, and the alien craft that that created the parting of the Red Sea, and what the significance was of that event.
Oh, all right. One moment. The relationship on certain levels is as follows, and this is not necessarily every level. Number 1. It is generally recognized and understood that what you call the Hebrew nation is to some degree one of the offshoots of an ancient Orion stream that in the original Orion language is Chuva. In the influx of incarnations upon your planet that ultimately resulted in what you would call the Hebraic and Arabic and various offshoot other similar nations, there was the recognition of a new influx of this energy on your planet that required, shall we say, arrangement in your society, that things needed to be arranged, moved around, so that the proper energy dynamic would be created that would set up certain circumstances for what you would call the evolution of your planet, that certain societies, certain energies, certain thought forms, certain beliefs, certain cultures needed to move here or there, to cross-pollinate in certain ways, to inhabit certain areas, to bring energy to certain areas, to allow there to be more balance, ultimately. In this way, this was recognized as the Moses being an ancient leader and connected to, incarnationally and vibrationally, the beings in the craft, in that sense, familially, to some degree, also to some degree genetically. And the idea then is that they assisted in relocating the vibration of that particular culture on your planet for the ultimate future consequences that would result, or at least were available to result, from the spreading out and mixing up of those genes, that energy, those thoughts, those ideas, those points of view. And so there was, at that time, because of the nature of that time, being what it was, the ability to be open in direct communication, more or less, and to guide, to relocate that culture in a different place on your planet for the overall human agenda as it needed to be played out on the earth with regard to the mixing in of new energies, new incarnational energies. You follow?
Yes, you know, we've also discussed before a long time ago that also part of the reason of the negativity here on this planet is not only the polarity and the densification of our atmosphere, but also because of incarnations from the Orion constellation. So I'm wondering, is a lot of this because of what was created here, there was somewhat of a responsibility that was taken on by some alien races. And in fact, even Moses was a representation of that, and that he was actually trying to help to correct that
Yes.
as much as possible.
Though he was not informed of the entire agenda, at least not in terminology that was understood by the extraterrestrials. Yes. A little bit different, but somewhat. For the purposes of the illustration, yes, it is sufficient.
I'd like to move in another area if that's okay.
Do you wish us to part any seas for you?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, all right.
Are there reptilians involved with the Galactic Federation?
No,
Why
not
not?
directly, no.
Why not?
It is, in that sense, not who they are. It is, in that sense, not their vibration to be. They are not, in that sense, a cohesive civilization, as you would understand that, in the way that is representative of those that are in what we call the Association of Worlds. It is, in a sense, an attached civilization, energetically, a limbic offshoot of the gray civilization, genetically engineered, and part of the collective consciousness of the grays that represents their primal level. In that sense, they do not function as a cohesive civilization, but as an appendage to another civilization. You follow?
Yes, that makes sense, too. So basically, maybe, I know this isn't a very good way of wording this, but so they kind of almost didn't evolve exactly they were initially intended to evolve in.
Again, the idea is that they were one of the first genetic manipulations derived from what you would call the dinosaur DNA on your world before the creation of the genetic manipulation of the hominid DNA that led to the human body.
Yes, we discussed that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I got a couple more for you.
All right.
You've said that your race of beings are a hybrid of us and the Greys, correct?
Generally, yes.
Were you initially created, maybe not in the final results, but here on this planet?
Not so much, no. The idea being that most of our ancestors were finalized in their form in what you would call spacecraft, not actually on your planet. Though, again, genetic material was derived from your planet.
Was it within our solar system?
Yes, sometimes not.
Initially, I mean like right off the bat.
Off the bat.
Right off the bat.
There were stations that were set up in your solar system for the initiation of the hybridization experimentations, yes. And at the same time, on spacecraft that traveled out of your solar system as well.
Okay,
but not exactly on your planet, except in some rare instances where certain adjustments needed to be made, and it was deemed necessary that they needed to be made within the planetary environment, within the planetary gravity, within the planetary atmosphere, in order to give the genetic spin what it needed to have. But those are long over with in your term.
Okay, Bashar,
Yes.
Are there any Anunnaki either here physically on Earth or communicating telepathically with anyone here?
Not in their original form contemporarily, unless you are referring to the Greys as the devolved result of a certain branch of Anunnaki.
Okay.
Did you understand that already?
Yeah, somewhat. Maybe another faction then.
A faction of the Anunnaki set up shop, if you will, on a planet, and ultimately created catastrophes in their world that ultimately resulted in the devolution of themselves into the form you now understand as the Grey.
Right, I actually knew that. Okay.
So in that sense, they are still, to some degree, Anunnaki, though they now require the idea of the genetic material that they utilize to create the human body to begin with, to reinforce their own race and create the hybrid species so that they can incarnationally continue. So in that sense, I suppose if you want to simply talk about it incarnationally, You and we together are also offshoots of Anunnaki,
Yes, exactly.
at least to some degree genetically.
Are there any, maybe looking at it from a time-traveling standpoint, although we know there's no time really linearly, but
There is if you create there
if you
to
create
be
it,
time.
exactly.
Yes.
But are there any ones from what we would perceive from our past that are here now that have
From
say,
time
jumped?
to time, they do peer in. Yes. From time to time, they have participated in certain things. Yes. It is not that common. From time to time, this has been done. Yes. It is not that common.
Okay. And when
Some of what individuals have called the large Nordics are to some degree representative of some of the ancient Anunnakis. You follow?
Yes, I've heard you say that before.
Yes. Does that help you?
One more question, please.
Oh, all right.
Is there anything, Bashar, that you think that either I personally or people in generally should not remote view because it could harm us, or maybe we're not ready to see it?
We will leave that up to you and your own spontaneity. And also to what you want to believe to be true.
Well, I believe...
End of conversation.
Yeah, well, I think you already know.
End of conversation. Number 2. You, however, can be number 4.
Sure, I was...
Good day.
Good day. I was very inspired by what you had to say at the beginning.
Oh, all right.
I'm looking for some assistance in...
A swift kick.
Okay. In getting to a place where I can follow my bliss.
Getting to a place where you can follow your bliss. You can't get there if you're not already following your bliss.
How do I know what my bliss is?
Non-bliss does not lead to bliss. Only bliss leads to bliss. So, unless you are blissful where you are, which doesn't mean you have to necessarily prefer the circumstances, but you have to know that they're there for a blissful reason and can be used in a blissful way, then you can never allow yourself to experience any other bliss because you have to be in a blissful state in order to bring in more bliss. Like attracts like. How do you find your bliss? It's simple. You simply start simply if you find it too complex any other way, and look at all the options and opportunities that are available to you to act on at any given moment, and simply ask yourself, out of all these things I could do, which has the highest degree of excitement that I'm capable of taking an action on? And when you determine what that might be, act on it. That's all you have to do. That is what is meant by acting on your bliss.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Are you willing to allow it to be that simple so that it can become not more complicated, but more complex and rich?
Am I willing?
Yes, are you willing?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I would like some assistance with the fear about taking action.
Fear of taking action.
Fear
All
of-
right. Fear of taking action, you mean in the direction of what you recognize as your bliss?
Or anything I would
Because
love to do.
obviously you are taking actions all the time. So obviously you're not afraid of taking all actions, or you would be completely
Correct.
inactive and inoperative.
Correct.
You would be in a coma.
Which I'm not.
All right, thank you. So obviously you are all right with taking some actions, yes?
Right. Yes.
So the fear that you are referring to has to do with certain specific actions then? Is that what you are intimating?
It would seem to be saying I love to do this and go doing it
Yes.
despite
Despite what?
my own preconceptions about what I should be doing, how I should be earning a living,
Yes.
where I should be living, the
Yes.
relationships I should be having.
I see. And so?
I'm shitting all over myself.
Yes. And what do you get out of doing that? How does it serve you to do that?
I don't have to risk.
Why do you define these things as risk in the negative sense?
Because they can be scary.
You
For me.
are being circular in your logic. You are saying, I will not risk because they are scary, and they are scary because I will not risk. You understand?
Yes.
So, You are being circular in your logic. You are trapping yourself in a loop. What do you get out of defining being yourself as somehow being negatively risky? What do you get out of that?